Hey guys, welcome back to Raised on the Road. I'm Stacy and this is my handsome hubby Matt. Today is day 8 aboard the Holland America Nieuw Statendam and it's time to debark. We're going to take you along for everything, give you our final thoughts on the cruise, and you know us, we can't be in South Florida and not get some yummy Cuban food. So stay tuned for a bonus Cuban food review.
Well, hello Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades again. Wow, look over there at those big old Royal Caribbean ships. I wonder who those are in the distance over there. Alright, now that the daylight's out, I'll show you all the ships. That is the Celebrity Apex. The Holland America's Dam. Then over there just poking out is the Volendam. And then the Royal Caribbean over there, that's Freedom of the Seas. And then in front of us is the Reflection, one of our favorite ships. So, Stacy just noticed that the laundry bag is cloth and reusable. So that may or may not be a good thing depending on your view of things. Stacy says it's gross.
Yeah, I think that's gross. I don't want my clean clothes or hanging in a bag that's had other people's dirty paintings in it. That grosses me out. Alright, so we're headed, sorry, go ahead. We're headed on deck 2. We do our own luggage. So we've got a schlep ahead of us for sure. Get what a man I've got. One last look at the gingerbread. And there's a line. Hi.
Morning.
Morning.
Travel home.
Thank you. This is the worst part. It is chilly.
We're like, quick, let's leave. Go back to the Caribbean. So there's 2 lines left and right as you go through, okay?
Thank you.
Take care, folks, and safe travels.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was trying to find out where.
Alright, so then got through, they just scanned our cards.
Nobody knows.
And now you just onto the, I don't know, whatever this part's called. Waiting for the elevator. There's also
More than one bag you have to take the elevator. They won't let you go on the escalator, no matter how hard you hit. Somebody was able to do it safely.
just throw them down.
I just hear your balance. I don't need to hold their hand.
I think we'll be stuck for the next one. So they have these facial recognition scanners here. Never seen those on Debark. We'll see. Alright. We made it through. Now we're at the terminal. We gotta go all the way over there to that garage.
So this is a bus depot. I don't know where these buses go. I guess you can get buses that take you to like in the city or maybe
Probably those
excursions.
park and ride buses too.
uh,
There's a lot of those. I thought about testing them out.
I think next time we'll try letting them take the luggage off.
See how it goes. Just test it out. Yeah. I've thought about testing these out because you just get off and they deal with the luggage on and off of the bus.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
And then you get to your car and your luggage is there at the bottom of the bus. But that's putting a lot of trust in, you know?
Yeah.
But I've thought about testing them out. It's really not much more than paying for a week's parking. Alright, we're headed over there to that garage. There's restrooms here on the side of this building. So that's handy. Another one of these buses.
machine has a bunch of drinks that somebody bought but then gets like just jammed in there. shooting out.
Suck. Close to the promised land. Oh yeah. Please curve the line to the right, please, where you're out of the road. Curve the line that way so you're out of the road. This way. We made it here. I'm pooped. So over there, in the distance, you can kind of see the ship.
So we finally made it back to the car. We've loaded all of our luggage. So I think we're loaded up. We're gonna get out of here and then go do a wrap up somewhere maybe. All right, so we're on the road now. It took us roughly an hour to get from the ship to the car and on the road.
Out of like the port traffic.
Yeah, out of the port traffic. So, but we're still kind of, you can see the port. It's just right
I'll say
behind us.
honestly, that's the most exhausting part. The physical, dragging the luggage through, going through this security, that security, walking through this bus terminal, that bus terminal. That's the most physically exhausting part. So if you struggle physically, you need to get assistance. And I saw some people that had porters that were meeting them and taking their luggage to the car for them. So there may be a way, or you may really want to consider the parking ride. So I might try to look into like some accessibility ones of those and see if we can do an informational video on that. Because would you agree that that's like the most physically difficult?
Yeah, well, especially this time we had a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
The first two times it wasn't bad, except for just the waiting in lines. But I will say the one we did last, there wasn't as long of lines, it seemed, or they flowed better. I don't know.
Yeah.
The longest line last time was that elevator line.
Okay, guys, we're here in Dania Beach, Florida, at Cafe Cubano, and I just ordered like everything on the menu. You guys know we love Cuban food, so I ordered a bunch of different stuff. I'm gonna get it all to go, and then I'm gonna head back out to the car where Matt is, and we'll drink our coffee and go over our cruise with you. See you in a second. Okay, guys, so I just came out of Cafe Cubano in Dania Beach, Florida. I got us some food, got us some Cuban coffee I'm so excited to drink. And we're going to eat, and we'll talk about our final thoughts on the Holland America and Nieuw Statendam ship. So let's start. So there's two different types of coffee. This one, there's a cortadito, which is just a double shot of Cuban espresso. And they come in these really fun little baby cups.
Wow, that's sweet.
Oh, they put the like brown sugar, like the natural sugar in it. And then I got a little colada, which is the same thing as that with a little bit of milk.
Flippin' delicious.
Oh man, so good. Yeah, I forgot to order it half sweet like we learned last time. So I don't know if y'all know about Cuban coffee or not, but if you drink coffee, get you some Cuban coffee. We had it first where? Key West? And now we're obsessed. So let's go overall. I had a good time on the ship. So let's talk about the line, Holland America Cruise Line.
So first off, I want to preface this by this cruise was the first one that we booked a long, long time ago.
Yeah, long time ago.
Maybe like a year ago.
Oh, it's been a while.
And since I've like known about cruises, I've been so excited to go on this cruise line. Just it seems like it would be
It seems like it's our speed because we don't drink and we don't really party. So we thought it would be like more chill. You want to try the one with milk?
Yeah, you want to try the one without?
Yeah. So we thought this would be our speed when we first started trying to figure out cruising for this channel.
I like it better without.
I like it better with. But I like them both. But I like it better with. So perfect. So this was our first one that we chose.
So, and the reason like I have always wanted to sail on this cruise line is that to me it's the most I guess aside from like the ultra luxury Cunards and things of being like the most like you see
Titanic
in history movies and things about how people used to sail or
yeah
cruise, I guess.
And so that interested us. So that we booked this one. Did it meet those expectations for you?
Overall, I was disappointed in it.
Yeah.
Would I do this cruise line again? Yeah, but
It'd have to be a really good deal.
it had to be a good deal. It had to be the right one. I'm not in a hurry to do another Holland America.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean like we didn't have fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
The thing that I would say, well, that's the ship. We'll do that next. But yeah, just the cruise line, it just was a weird pace. Everything closed so early on the ship. And this is a personal preference that, some people like it and some people don't. I found that I really did not like that they serve you everywhere you go, because it caused huge backups in the lines and you had to wait a very long time to get anything.
Well,
But I also talked to people who said that's why they cruise Holland, because they want that. So this is a cheese. They didn't have guava cheese pastry. They just had cheese left. And she said they make these fresh every day at the cafe. Is it good?
I prefer to serve myself. This kind of person I am.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to serve me, that's okay. That's a thing. But it's almost
fast.
to the point of absurdity.
Mm-hmm. The ketchup thing, where it's like you wait in line for them to hand you your food off of the counter and then wait in another line to get ketchup for your french fries. It's so long. It's so much waiting. And like to get, hot sauce, it's like a big ordeal to get some hot sauce,
Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, what I was saying, it's like they do it to the point of absurdity. Sorry. When you have to ask them to get ketchup and they're like standing there by you with the perfect example of this
and it's a pump. It's not like you're like scooping it out with your hands. It's just a ketchup pump.
Was the dive in. So there's like a line of like, I don't know, did you get any film of that? Like 15, 20 people. And it's just total chaos. Like they're pushing it out, but nobody's there to pick it up. And the people that are, it's this one person in front of that, like handing it out, calling the numbers. But she's also the person that you have to ask, like, I want cheese sauce, I want ketchup. And she's just standing there by the pump, like handing you little cups while she's like, so it's just like a huge.
You could have just, and there's no sanitation issue for you pumping ketchup into your own container. So, but then I also talked to people that said the reason they sell Holland America is because. Which one's that?
I don't know, but it's good.
Okay. I don't really know everything I ordered. Something we've learned here, we love Cuban food and we love these Cuban cafes, but I don't speak Spanish, so I take what I can get. It's I'm in their territory. We do our best.
I don't think I showed that to the camera.
I don't know what that is, but it's good. Flaky pastry with some kind of.
That's really good.
Sweet goo. Oh, coconut maybe. That might be the coconut.
Really? I didn't taste coconut at all, but I
That's
guess
good.
it's good, whatever it is. For me, this line, and I thought this was like a perfect thing. This is like the Volvo or Saab of cruise lines. Like some things they do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But they get kind of their own way with their quirkiness, like the serving you ketchup and things like that it kind of like almost ruins it. I don't mean like ruin it.
Because it was still a great time.
Right. But I mean, as far as
we're trying to be
to
honest
lines,
with you guys. Yeah, so that's the line. I would do it again if I had a good deal on it, but I'm not in a rush to do it again. And
like, it has like a what I was getting at is like this ketchup business. Like this person is there to like serve you. It's counted as like an employee, but it's just like, it's nonsense. It's not needed. You can pump your own ketchup and that employee can go do something else, get the food out quicker to the 30 people in line.
Yeah, it's just and that's why I say we're not dogging the crew. The crew were working very hard, but I feel like they were not managed correctly. That's, I think, a croquette sandwich. Ham and cheese croquette sandwich. They weren't being managed correctly. It's on Cuban bread pressed in a panini, ham, and then some kind of fried cheese croquette. I don't know.
That's delicious.
Is it good?
You want to try them?
They weren't being managed correctly. You know what I mean? Like, it was like they weren't not given the appropriate direction to work efficiently. They seemed to be tripping over each other, the staff, instead of having better systems in place. So we're now a little more experienced in cruising, and I have to say I'm going to backtrack on most of what we said here. I have a whole new appreciation for the customer service that we received on this ship, having sailed a couple other lines that you guys are going to see in the near future.
So another good example of its quirkiness getting in the way, this kind of wraps it all up in one. The water machines and ice machines on the thing,
That is a nightmare.
they don't serve you. You serve yourself on these, but they're motionless. Like you hold your glass up, you're supposed to hold your glass up and it comes out automatically. It never worked like that. Everybody had to like put their hands and still it wouldn't work.
And it sprays everywhere every time.
And so then once it did work, you would take your cup and move it out. It's still pouring down ice and water and it just shoots out in the floor. So they have like one employee that's just sitting there mopping up this water constantly at the drink machine.
When just pay the $10,000 and get a better drink machine.
Yeah, and that employee, you know, the quirkiness of this machine, you know, is supposed to be like touchless for the germs and I'm sure like eco-friendly.
Yeah.
And, you know, this extra employee is counted as like an employee for the ratio, but it's just completely wasted. He needs to be up doing something else, or she.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. There's a lot of little things like that did not make sense. I don't know what this is, these croquettes. It's like some kind of meat in them, and then ham and cheese, but that's so good.
Yeah, I don't either. It's like these little fried balls of something, but it's delicious.
Like squishy meat. That's good. This place is awesome. Yeah, it's like a croquette, so it's like minced up pork maybe fried.
That's delicious.
Yeah, this place so far is a 10. So, next up, let's talk about the actual ship. I think that's probably the Cuban. Yeah, so that's roast pork, ham, cheese, some kind of mustard or something.
Wow.
Good.
Mm-hmm. The pork is so juicy.
We love Cuban sandwiches.
And the fat's like rendered. It's like, you know, all over the meat and then into the bread. It's great. You want to try it?
Yeah. So what were your thoughts while I'm chomping this? What were your thoughts on the actual ship? This is so good.
Sorry, I'm trying to. This is the newest class of ship. I think there's a class of 3. It's the second of 3. I think it was built in 18, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's the latest concept from Holland America. And I've been excited when I've watched so many videos on it. I thought it would be cool because I love music and they have all these musical venues. It looked like a classy ship, you know, nice. But from what I learned, the venues are very small. There's very few venues and the one are there are small. And there's only usually one thing going on the ship at a time. So those venues fill up and it's like standing room only. The Rolling Stone Lounge, the Billboard Lounge,
King.
the BB Kings, the theater. But the ship is a nice ship. So the public areas are beautiful, but the design there's no like central quote unquote atrium, the flow of it. There's a lot of wasted space. Like it's a small ship by today's standard, but it's not really a small ship. It's only barely smaller than the Glory, but it felt way, way, way smaller than that. And I think what it is, just walking around doing the ship tours and stuff, there's so much wasted space. There's all these dead ends in the ship that you would walk around a deck or you'd have to walk outside to get somewhere. Like Tamarind comes to mind. You have to walk out this like thin thing on the side or like go down.
That's the craziest thing ever. And that's supposed to be one of their premier attractions on the ship is that restaurant. And
or if you don't do that, you go up the elevator to it. It's just stuff like that. And then like some decks on the rear or the front, the bow or the aft, there were some hallways you would walk and it just would end. There's nowhere to go. And like most ships have like on the aft a floor that you can go and look out on. And this one did have one of those floors. The rest of those floors are, I noticed one of them said crew only. So I guess they have a spot on the back of the ship for their crew. Or like cabins that you would rent that face the aft.
But that's like a big thing, the wake watchers, you know, like on the Reflection, the sunset bar, that was such a cool thing. So not having that like grand common area on the aft of the ship, which, I mean, there is the one place, so like the pool area. That's a bummer to me.
There was just there's no like grand spots on this. Like the atrium was kind of cool looking, but it wasn't. It was only 3 stories. They didn't really use it. It was an art studio on the first floor.
Yeah, it just wasn't, it didn't like, wow, when you come through. But
it's nice, but like it doesn't wow you.
So let's do the positive. There's like a steak something, and I think in Philly,
it's much softer bread.
That's probably the steak. I don't
know. Some kind of steak, lettuce, tomatoes.
Oh, and it's got the shoestring potatoes on it.
Oh, shoestring potatoes.
Like a very thin steak beef cutlet.
That's like a thing here. These like
the padded out meats. Pounded meat.
The potato sticks.
Oh yeah. So the positives of the ship for me were, I have to say, if you have a disability, and I notice this because this is my field of profession, this is my field of expertise. This is a great ship for people with both physical and intellectual disabilities. I saw 3 different families who had children that had intellectual or developmental disabilities, and the crew, I noticed 2 different times I saw the children have a verbal outburst, which is very common in people that have those sorts of disabilities. The crew handled it great, so I think there is some training available maybe to the crew on that. And then in terms of physical disabilities, every single place had wheelchair accessible tables, with the exception of in the crow's nest. The very best view was not wheelchair accessible. And we were actually there at a time when a gentleman using an electric wheelchair was trying to get over there, and we had a long conversation with him about it. And I totally agree with him. That really sucks that the best view on the ship is not wheelchair accessible. But other than that, this was an incredibly accessible ship. When you go by that's an empanada. I got a beef and a chicken. When you go by the common restrooms, like the public restrooms, if it's not wheelchair accessible, there's a sign on the door that says the nearest wheelchair accessible restroom is and tells you exactly where to go, which I thought was incredible. Is that the beef?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's pretty good.
Which I thought was very cool. In all of the like public eating places, there were tables that had spaces for chairs. The theater had plenty of wheelchair and wheelchair companion spaces, and there was plenty of plus size seating in the theater. So I found that to be really nice. And there were multiple people, so I think this may be a known thing within the disability community. There were multiple wheelchair users on the ship, more walkers than you could count, and other adaptive equipment. So I think that this may be a known thing. And the other thing of the ship that is just clutch is they had wheelchair accessible excursions that you could purchase at each port. So that is huge. So if you are a wheelchair user, or you have another physical disability that requires the use of adaptive equipment, this is a really good option for you.
So things they do well, I'll go ahead and mention this, although it's not something that I really value that much, is it's a very well, I'll say sustainable, because some things that they do is not very eco-friendly, but it is sustainable. Like a lot of things that's usually plastic is made with paper. So they'll use like a lot of glass instead of disposable things. So there's that, and the rooms themselves are something they do very well there. I don't know if it's just to this class of ships or if all Holland America ships are like this, but the stateroom was great. But this is the most expensive cruise we had. This was the balcony room, which we've never had one before.
This was a special balcony, though. We had the one that's oriented in the other direction. So yeah, our stateroom was incredible, but you can check out the stateroom tour if you haven't already. It was incredible, but it's a special one. There aren't many like that on the ship. So when you're booking your cruise, I highly recommend you try to find the one that is oriented. Like most of them are oriented like port to starboard to port way, you know. This one was bow to aft, or stern to aft is how this one's oriented. So we measured an 18-foot balcony. and it was huge. I loved the stateroom. And then you really have the big balcony window and a gigantic picture window that's right beside the bed, so you could just sit in the bed, see out into the world. It was incredible.
Oh, something else, they're eco-friendly. They're about pouring the soap in. They're like reusable containers on the wall.
Yeah.
I wish they locked, though, because like anybody can just open that up and tamper with it.
But the soap was very good. I like it.
Yeah. Especially the conditioner, man.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Both of us, our hairs feel so nice.
Silky smooth.
And I don't usually use the provided stuff, but I use that, and it was really good.
Shower's great. Pressure, temperature, the glass door, no curtain.
Multiple handles to help you from slipping and falling. There was 3, I think, in the actual shower, so that was nice.
The closet spaces were well designed. The room is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree.
No matter if it's obstructed, long ways, fat ways, whichever you want to call it, but I think any other rooms are going to be similar on that ship. It's just the quality of the rooms are very high. The ship's library was awesome. That crow's nest place is awesome. Here's another example of the few things that are to do on the ship are just too crowded. They have a game room at the crow's nest.
Wasn't a single table available.
Wasn't even a single seat until we had to wait until somebody left. But it's cool. I love it. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the ship. A great view out the front. All these games and game tables that you can everybody can just sit around, play with your family, puzzles, just you name it. And that was a cool space. But a third of that was used for like an art space, which
they only had a couple classes a day.
I didn't fully understand what it was. I walked in there and they had an employee that was like, "Hello, welcome to the art studio." But I don't know, what am I doing there?
The other thing on the ship, we did pause negatively, but I want to go back and say, I really think they need to invest in more drink stations throughout the ship, like water filling stations. Because it's essentially the Lido deck is the only place you can get. The Lido marketplace is the only place you can get water.
There was always long lines at it because they don't really work. It takes
forever to fill it up.
5 minutes, what should take like a half a minute.
And there's only the one place to get water, and I see why, because they're funneling you and pushing everyone to the bar to purchase drinks from there. But it's like, it's a Caribbean. I just need a glass of water. You know, I don't need a margarita. I need a glass of water, and I'd like to have a place I can get filtered, clean tasting water. Because the water tasted great there. It was clean tasting. It was good water, but you have to go to the buffet to fill your water cup up. So there need to be water filling stations throughout the ship. And the other thing I want to say, we considered purchasing the soda package because you are not allowed to bring soda onto the ship, but we just decided not to. And I'm very glad that we didn't, because the reason that made us consider it is it says online that they have a Coke Freestyle machine. I do not think that to be the case. I never found it. I did not ever see it. Did you?
I never found it. And along these lines, everywhere they have a drink, a water, and an ice machine on this ship, there should be another one. Because there's just too long lines if they're going to fool with these the motionless, things that cause everybody the troubles.
Because all the other 2 ships that we've been on, there's water stations everywhere. And it's just get water, go. Ice water, go. Then they're readily available throughout the ship. But this was a big hassle to the point that I bought a big cup there so that I could fill it up and have water in the room, because it was such a long walk. So that we could bring it back to the room.
Well, and along those same lines with the freestyle and the drink, our previous 2 cruises with other brands, they have these Nestle juice machines that also have tea in them. They have those on this ship, but only the employees have access to them. So there again, you've got the extra employees doing needless things that doesn't really add to the experience.
Yeah, so they'll bring, when you're sitting down, you can ask
if you want lemonade or tea or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, I could have just gotten a lemonade or a tea myself at the water station.
So that's fine if it wasn't a problem, but here's the problem. The the Lido buffet frequently had crowds to where you had trouble finding a place to sit. But there were several places to sit that were not clean. Now, if the guy that's operating the Nestle drink machine for you was instead cleaning those tables and you got your own juice yourself, to me, that's a better experience. That's how Celebrity does it. I think it worked a lot better. That's how Carnival does it. I think that it worked a lot better.
What I would strongly recommend to Holland America, and I mean, like they're listening, but is that they have a workflow expert come and evaluate their workflow, because they are not efficiently and effectively using their human resources. And so it's not a problem with the crew. The crew are great. They are working very hard and doing exactly what they have been trained to do. It is the setup, the workflow. They need a workflow expert company to come in and evaluate the way they're doing it, because there's no reason for things to be so slow and jammed up with such a huge amount of crew. There's no reason for it. But some of the staff were exceptionally nice. I've got to give a shout out to Oscar, the maitre d' of the dining room, or the room service maitre d'. He was awesome. So nice, so friendly. He went above and beyond to make up for a mistake in the room service. One thing that I want to mention, dive in. The food there is incredible. Those hot dogs were so good. That jackknife dog, I ate it twice. It was so good with the curry ketchup. I even went to the chef and tried to get the brand of the curry ketchup and the curry powder and that delicious poppy seed bun. That place was so good. That was a highlight for me. The last night in the main dining room was a highlight. I think the quality of the food and the portion size of the food was up 100% from the other 2 nights.
Oh yeah, it was obvious that the formal nights that they cut the portions and the food just wasn't as good. If it had been like the last night we had in the main dining room every night, which is kind of how it was, almost up there to Celebrity level.
Yeah,
it'd been a much better experience. And the buffet would have been a much better experience had you been able to like look at it. The placards where they would be frequently out, things would be wrong,
inaccurate.
But like if you're there and you're scooping it out yourself, you get to inspect it and see what it is. But you couldn't really do that behind glass, and then the language barrier. You're trying to like, what is this? You know. It just was a mess in my opinion. I just was grown very frustrated by the buffet.
Also, really enjoyed the Grand Dutch Cafe.
Oh yeah,
the coffee was incredible. I loved the little pastries and things. I like the savory food. Matt didn't love it. That ham and cheese toasty, I really enjoyed that. I liked that place a lot.
The coffee was great there.
Yeah, that was one of the places I was very excited about for the ship, and it lived up to my expectations.
But the dive-in is probably my favorite place to eat on the ship.
They have I'm going to talk about the pizza. They have the potential to have awesome pizza. But on our sailing, they were really struggling to use that oven. It was either underdone, overdone. One of them we got was plain old raw, the dough. We couldn't eat the crust, So they needed some tweaking. And those big brick ovens, those new pizza ovens, are hard to use. So they need some tweaking on that oven and some additional training on how to use it. Because I don't know how to use one, I couldn't imagine trying to make pizza in one of those. It's like an art form, basically. So they need additional training on that. But they do have the potential to have awesome level pizza. Because the ingredients, etc. for the pizza were great. The actual meats, the cheeses, they were good. They just need some tweaking on that New York deli pizza. And it could be great. So let's move to the ports. Grand Turk. What did you think of Grand Turk?
It's all right. I liked all the ports we went to. I would go to all of them again. None of them. The only thing I'll say about the ports, in my opinion, you probably have more opinion on this than I do. Half Moon Cay, I probably wouldn't even get off the ship, honestly.
I totally disagree.
If there's another ship there.
If
you're the only ship, I would get off and go to it. But man alive, it was so crowded. You didn't get to see the things that I saw.
Right, because I wasn't even fool with that. So what I'm going to say about Half Moon Cay, if you don't want to swim, this is not you're not going to have fun there. But if you want to swim and you like the beach, this is the best swimming I've ever had. The water is still, it is clear. I was in it up to my shoulders and I could see my feet in the water. It is so clean. The sand is the softest sand I have ever felt on my feet. There's a few shells here and there on the bottom when you're walking around, but almost no shells in the bottom. The best swimming I've ever had. So I want to go back there definitely, and I want to book a cruise that has a very long day. I was very disappointed that we had to get back on the tender at 1:30. I could have stayed there till 6, 7 o'clock swimming and not even gotten out of the water. That's how much I liked it. So I want to go back there, but Matt doesn't like to swim.
And I hate crowds.
So it just wasn't. But to me, the crowd didn't even exist. I was in the water. I went, took my dress off on the beach, sat my towel on a chair, and went straight into the water. I didn't.
It's just you have this like very narrow walkway that snakes around, and you're like bumper to bumper with other people, just walking one step at a time through the thing, and waiting hours on a tender.
Yeah, I would do
know. If there's another, that's the barometer I would use. If there's 2 ships there, stay on the boat. If there's 1 ship there, it's probably going to be half as crowded.
I'll definitely be getting off the boat. I don't care how many ships are there the next time we go. I loved it. Really liked San Juan. I would like to go there on just a trip to San Juan and just stay there. There's so much to see and do. We really just walked around one little area of it. But it was really fun. The food we ate there was incredible. The architecture was great. I was kind of bummed that the power went out in the city because we could have walked around a little bit longer, but I just thought that it probably wasn't safe to be walking around with no street lights in that area. But maybe it was safe. I don't know. I just thought, let's use common sense. No street lights. Let's go back, Otherwise, I loved San Juan. St. Thomas was cool. I'd like to go to some of the beaches on St. Thomas. If we go back there, that's what I would do. I would take a taxi to one of the beaches, I think, and do some swimming there. We wanted to go to that Kmart, but we forgot. Grand Turk is cool, but the beach there looked so crowded. Like they were on top of each other, and the water, it looked nice, but it didn't look as good as Half Moon. And that Margaritaville is cool because it's so big. I've never seen anything like it. But they had a supply chain issue, I believe. They were like out of everything.
I don't think it's as good as the ones that.
No.
Well, I think I've only been to one, right? Or we've been to a couple.
We've been to a couple.
But the ones on shore, I think, are of higher quality. I think maybe they know what's up there and they try to like milk the tourist. The food quality wasn't as good, I didn't think.
But it was fun and cool.
Oh yeah, I would definitely go back. And of course, it's pricey, but that's what it is.
Otherwise, Grand Turk is just kind of like a shopping mall little area, which is cool. It was nice to walk around, fun little day, look at all the different shops. But yeah, I like these ports. I like this itinerary. I would go back to each of the ports. As I'm thinking, I don't think there's one I wouldn't do them all again.
The only other thing I would say is that aside from Puerto Rico, you didn't get much time in any of these ports. I don't know what the reason is. You only got a few hours.
Yeah, and I didn't. They weren't that far. Like it wasn't like we needed all that time to sail. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't understand that. I really wish we had more time, especially at Half Moon Key. Because when you watch the map, there was plenty of time to be there till past 1:30 in the day. That's prime beach time is 1:30, and you had to get off. And like you said the lunch wasn't good, right?
I mean,
I didn't eat on the island, so
it was okay. I could have made it better had I stayed there and but they just had these pre-made burgers. I just kind of took a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the lines and the waiting, it took maybe 30 minutes for me waiting in line to get the food just to get up there. It was miserable. And then searching around these crowds for a place to sit in the shade.
So the next cruise that we take to
That's not that
Half
good.
Moon Key, what we're going to do is rent a cabana, not a cabana, a clamshell, so that you have a shaded place to sit. And we'll probably maybe even bring sandwiches or something from the ship.
When we win the lottery, I don't think they let you bring food off the ship like that.
How do they know? They don't check your bags.
That's a good point.
Yeah. To get sandwiches at breakfast, make a sandwich, wrap it up, put it in your bag and take it so you have a snack. And then you have somewhere shaded to sit. And they're only $39, the clamshells.
Oh.
Yeah, they were only, I think, $10 more than the umbrella. But there's just a limited number of them. So you have to, as soon as you book, you need to go ahead and book that clamshell on Half Moon Key. Yeah, they weren't much more. So the umbrella thing, I think, there is ridiculous. That you rent an umbrella, but you got to drag it down the beach and dig a hole. They give you a shovel and an umbrella. No, I'm not fooling with that. That's ridiculous. But for me, I'm not getting under it. I'm sitting in the water getting cooked the whole time. That's what I'm doing.
She's just my beach baby.
Yeah. But I loved it. Otherwise, yeah, all the ports were great. I'd do them all. I'd like to go back to San Juan, do Puerto Rico for a week even, you know.
Yeah, Puerto Rico, San Juan, probably my favorite port. Fort Lauderdale, we've been here before. I think the Port Canaveral is
Easier,
logistically works better, but I don't know, it's not terrible.
I like coming to Fort Lauderdale because then we get a ride on down to Miami for the day and check it out, which is fun.
True, yeah.
Eat all this Cuban food, which we like. Otherwise, other thing, Cafe Tu Cubano, 10 out of 10. Anything else you want to add? Overall, I like this. I had a really fun time, but I'm excited to try other cruise lines. I'm not going to be booking a Holland anytime soon, I don't think.
No, it'll be a while.
Anything else you want to add on this?
No, just this, what was this place called? The Cuban food?
Yeah, Cafe Tu Cubano.
Yeah, this place is great.
It's awesome. 10 out of 10. Loved it. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. If you made it this far in the video and you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe right now. There's nothing to wait for. It's totally free, and you can unsubscribe if you find that you don't enjoy our content. And if you are a longtime subscriber or even a new subscriber, thank you. We appreciate you guys so much. I think we're going to hit the road. We got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. We want to say that we love you guys, we appreciate you guys, and we hope that God blesses your life every day and in every way. Thanks for everything. We'll see you really soon. Bye! Psych, we're back.
I've never seen so many people wearing sweaters wrapped around their neck in the fashion of like a 1980s ski resort villain.
Especially
You
when
know?
it's 90 degrees. What I
People.
say, some of the friendly people we met and really kind of made friends with, they agreed with us, like, wow, this crowd's a little stuffy.
Stuffy, that's the that's the perfect word for this cruise and cruise line. It's just very, very stuffy.
Which
The pool closed at 9 o'clock.
I did see some of this passengers being very hard on the crew. This is one of the most, I'm glad we come back in because I'm going to talk about this again. On the first day, I heard somebody say the craziest thing I have ever heard, the most entitled, ridiculous thing. So embarkation day's chaos, right? That's just the way it is. And we get on and we walk to the midship elevators thinking that it's going to be easier to get on. It wasn't. There was a million people there too. All right, it's just the way it is. Stand there and wait. Let's chit-chat with each other. We're excited for our cruise. Let's just not... The people waiting there were so mad that they were having to wait. And one gentleman especially. So Matt went ahead. He said, I'm going up the stairs. I couldn't. My knee was hurting. I said, I'm just going to stand here and wait.
I couldn't stand any longer.
Yeah. So for Matt, it was easier to go up the stairs. For me, it was easier to wait. So that's what we did. We're grown ups. We don't have to be together every second. We can both make it to a room. So as I'm standing there, this guy is going nuts. This is ridiculous. I can't believe we're having to wait. They should not be. Because the midship elevators, they had 2 of the elevators for administrative use only. And they were using those elevators. They had like the drapes in them, the protective drapes, and a panel board on the bottom. And they were pushing the big carts of everyone's luggage that the porters had loaded onto the ship, right? And they were delivering the luggage to the rooms. This man has the nerve to say they shouldn't be blocking these elevators. And I say, well, they're just trying to get everyone's luggage to them. And he goes, they can carry it up the stairs. This is thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds of luggage.
That's exactly what an 80s ski resort villain would say. The guy's trying to bulldoze the ski resort and build like a,
Yes, and he wants these people who were working like dogs already to carry that luggage up 11 flights of stairs. When he said that, I said, man, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. And so then I just stood there, and other people come, and the elevator finally comes, and we were ahead of him, but I was like, you know what, you just go on. And he like pushes his way into the elevator. This was so funny. He's like the last one on the elevator before the doors close, and the doors, ding, 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 come back open. Come back open, and he screams a profanity, expletive, quit pushing the button. And I was like, sir, no one is pushing the button. Your rear end is hanging out of the door, and you're the reason that it won't close. Nobody is trying to sabotage you. And then I could see that he had realized he was embarrassing himself, because he took a breath and was like, I apologize, it's my fault. And I was like, just take a breath, take a little step forward. You're going to get to your stateroom. And I never saw him again on that cruise ship. But I just thought that was the craziest, most entitled, ridiculous thing to say. Those crew were working so hard. They were drenched in sweat. I mean, getting that luggage, I can't imagine how hard that is to deal with thousands of pieces of luggage, delivering them to the correct rooms, And for somebody to have the unmitigated gall to say they should carry it up 11 flights of stairs, that's ridiculous. And I just had to say, and I try not to engage with negative people, but I just said, sir, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. They do not need to carry this up. We can wait on the elevator. I had to say something. I had to. But that is just like a demonstrative.
We're in an old 30s movie, and the bellhop is carrying a suitcase up.
While you're standing there, that to me was demonstrative of some of the passengers' mentality towards these crew. And that is just outrageous. That's an outrageous thing to say, and even more outrageous thing to believe. And if you feel that way, you need to check your heart, because you got a problem. That's human beings that we're talking about, who are just trying to make a living the same way we all do every day.
Along the same lines, I felt like a lot of the passengers thought they were better than us, and so they frequently would just cut in front of us.
That happened everywhere we would go.
Like push us out of the way,
Just stand in front of us, and I'm just laughing at them. And a lot of it, I know how I sound. I sound like a hillbilly, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my Appalachian accent. And so I think I would make a joke, and people would just, ugh, whatever. You're lost. I'm funny. You could have had a good time talking to me, But I did meet some really nice people that I really enjoyed talking to as well. But that was a funny thing to me. All right, sorry. That's the end of the bonus. We love you all. Bye.